Hi, my name is Arthur from Bird's Piano Academy and welcome to my top 5 best rock riffs on the piano. But I'm not just going to show you them, I'm going to show you how to play them as well. When you're watching this, you may be thinking that there's a couple of really famous ones missing, but I've decided to keep these ones just piano riffs. So if you think of the one to do with jumping or maybe the one to do with a countdown, that kind of thing, I'm going to do a different video with my top 5 best rock synth riffs. But this is just the piano sounding ones. Please feel free to comment on my choices and maybe even let me know what you thought should have been in there. Hit the subscribe button and even the bell, that would be much appreciated. And yes, let's get started. My first choice, you probably recognise that, it's Bohemian Rhapsody, one of the most famous rock songs of all time. And obviously it does continue, it's quite a long song. I just wanted to teach you the first famous part on piano. So that's the section we're going to look at now. And I'm just going to dive straight in. First of all, I'm going to play you it slowly for those of you that just like to copy and play it by ear. And then we'll just go into a little bit more detail after for those of you that need it. Here it is. So middle C is here, your starting position, and now I'll play it slowly. Okay, hopefully you got that. For those of you that need it talked through a little bit more, here it is. So it starts off B flat major, second inversion with your right hand. So root, first, second inversion, F, B flat, D. That's the shape, the chord shape, not at the same time. And your left hand is going to play an octave B flat in your left hand, okay? Now, your right hand plays that chord in your right, top, bottom, middle, top, with your left hand. So it starts on the 1, 1 and 2 and, then your left hand is going to go over the top of your right and play an octave G there. Then your right plays the F, and then your left, which is now over the top, goes onto the F, and your right plays another F. And it's just a nice even timing as well there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it just goes through that another 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4 and again. So there it is, 3 times in a row at the start. Then the next part is a G minor shape in your right, and then a G octave in your left. Okay, so that's the shape, but you're going to do a pattern again. You're going to go top, bottom, middle, top in your right hand. Left hand plays on the 1, like this. 1 and 2 and we've got another crossover over there onto the octave A, and then your right hand plays the G in between, and then the left hand over the top plays the G. It's going from A to the G. And then your right hand plays the G again. So that bar there goes over the top whilst your right hand's playing. Then you go 3 and 4 and. Okay, and then the next bar is a C minor second inversion, which is that shape. Not all at the same time again though, the same pattern, top, bottom, middle, top. Top of the chord, that's what I mean by that. Bottom, middle. 1 and 2 and octave C in the left there. On the 1 again. And then the left hand goes over the top, all the way up here to an octave D. Okay, your right hand's going to play a middle C in between there, and then your left hand comes down to the C octave. There. So that bar goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you're playing on all the main and the half beats of this basically. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, nearly there. I'm just going to go back to the start just to show you what we've got so far. Over the top, F in the middle, between those octave notes on your right. Second bar, now third bar, with the C comes in. G minor shape over the top onto the A. C minor second inversion shape over the top onto the high D. You see that? Then it goes onto a C minor shape, but you're going to play E flat C, E flat G, octave C in your left hand, like that. And then it goes F in your left, and your right hand goes A, goes down to the E flat, then F, and then it goes up to the C there. So that's a little bit different. It's actually an F7 there, but with the E flat underneath. And the notes again there are going A, E flat, F, C. So that bar there is going E flat, C, E flat, G, and then A, E flat, F, up to the C above. And then it goes back round to the. And I just finished it off with a B flat chord there. And just a little fingering suggestion on that last part. So when you go to this C minor chord here, on the second inversion, I would put your thumb on the C, middle C there, and then your left hand comes down there, play the C again there with your thumb. Then it puts you into the right position for this next part, because all you're going to do is you're going to play the E, C flat, E, and then if I were you, put your third finger on that G there. Then you're into position for this next part. You're going to put your fourth on the A, then your thumb's pretty much ready for the E flat, your two's already sitting over the F, and then your five's pretty much over the C above there, like this. Thumb, third on the G, fourth on the A, 2 on the F, 5 up to the C, and then you can just bring your hand back down for the last part there. There you go, play that in a party, and then they'll all carry on singing and you'll stop. But yeah, it's a good piano intro there. I just wanted to teach you that first part because I think it sounds really cool. And now I'll just quickly show you it all together, just so you know what you're aiming for. Don't Stop Believing by Journey. So famous that, isn't it? And this intro just sounds so cool. So let's do it. I'll play it first of all nice and slow again for those of you that learn that way, and then we'll go into a little bit more detail. Let's go. Continues, isn't it? So that's what it goes like, nice and slow. For those of you that learn that way, feel free to pause and rewind and all that stuff. Now for those of you that need it, let's go into a bit more detail. The right hand part is very much in the same position here, and there's only slight movements between a lot of the changes. So it starts off, middle C's here. You're going to put your thumb on a B, second finger on an E, and 5 on top. And you're just going to rock between the top two and the bottom one underneath, like this. E, B, and then B underneath. And it just plays like this. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. The next part, your third finger should be hovering over that F sharp. All I need to do is bring your second finger up, and your third finger is going to replace it. So it's now an F sharp and a B on top. Like that. Then it goes back down to the same one you did before, so the E and the B on top. Like that. And then, that next bar, the whole thing just shifts to the left. So your thumb's going to go to an A, your 5 is on an octave A above, and your second finger is going to play the C sharp, and it just goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So there's the first half. Your left hand, I'm just going to go single notes, middle C here, 2 octave below, and then E there. Okay, if you can do this fingering with your 5th finger, and then it's going to go F sharp, G, B, and then it goes over the top with your 3rd finger if possible, onto the C sharp, D sharp, C. So the first little bit. The reason you put your 3rd finger there is because then the next part is D sharp, thumb on the E, so you're prepared, and then A. Keep your hand shaped there, and then it goes back up to the D sharp, E, and then it goes octave down. And the timing is the same for each of those bars as well. It's going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then together. And 2 and 3. And it plays together on the and after the 3. And 4 and. The change, and you're right. 1 and 2 and. Same on the and after the 3 together. And 4 and. Right, changes again. 1 and 2 and 3 together. And 4 and then it goes over onto the C sharp and the A with the 2, 5, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then those bits might sound slightly clashy. It's just because I've slowed it down a lot, so you don't notice it when it's going as fast. Okay, you can go over that, and then the second part. The next 2 bars here are nearly the same as the first 2 bars, except there's one change in the left hand, right at the end. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, that was the same. Here, it goes in your left hand, rather than going C sharp, D, C sharp, it goes C sharp, D, G there. And your right hand's the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Then, The next part, right hand. So you've just come from the F sharp and a B. It's another very small change again. All you're doing is, your third was on the F sharp. All you need to do is put your second finger on the D sharp and you keep the octave on the B. The same kind of pattern, the top two and the bottom in between. There. And then, to finish it off, your right hand part just goes back down to the C sharp and the A. Yeah? Left hand for that new part. So you've done this bit. So you've gone down to the G sharp. Then all you need to do is go up to the G sharp with your thumb, back down to the G sharp where you've just been. Here, when I showed you, I did slide off my 5 onto the A, but you could go with your 4. That's up to you, it's just preference. So that bit there. And then it just finishes that part with the D sharp E. So together, you're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. G sharp on your left, right hand change onto the D sharp. Up in the octave in your left, onto the G sharp, back down. Onto the A in your left, and your right hand changes that C sharp. On the and together. And your right hand finishes on its own. And then you just need to put those parts together. And then you can actually go around and, you know, come in with the singing, just a small town girl, and all that kind of stuff. Or if you get one of your mates to sing it, you know, who knows. So here it is, just the part we just did then. That was the intro to Cold as Ice by Foreigner. Maybe not quite as famous as Bohemian, Rhapsody or Don't Stop Believing, but still really famous. This one is pretty much chord based, so let's dive straight in. Your right hand is nearly the same all the way through. It's an E flat, sus4. So middle C is here. You're going to go E flat, A flat, B flat. So E flat, sus4, and then it resolves onto the E flat minor there. So it's going 2 on the E flat sus, and then onto the E flat minor, and it goes back up. So it's going 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it's just alternating between those two chords to start off with, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes through that 6 times around. But let's just go through the left hand before we move on to the next bit. So your left hand is going to play an E flat all the way down here, middle C there, octave down, and down again, E flat. And then it goes B flat and then C sharp. If I were you, I'd put your second finger and your thumb on those 2 notes, then you can return to the E flat next quite easily. Okay, and then it goes back to the B flat and C sharp. And then it goes plonks down on the E flat again. So let's just take that first 4 bars. So with this song, it's kind of got like a swung rhythm to it underneath. It's going, rather than going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You need to know that in order to play the left hand part in time. And then the left hand part comes in on the and after the 3 of the second bar and up to the 4. Like this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You hear that? And then it does it again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Can you hear that swung rhythm? You could also think about that swung rhythm like long then short, long shot, long shot, long shot, long shots, like a long beat and a short beat. There's other ways to think about swung rhythms. You could count in threes, and you could go 1, 2, and then 3, like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I was just clapping on the 1 and the 3, if that helps. But it's up to you. But you need to be doing a swung rhythm to play this properly in time. So that's the first 4 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then it goes to the E flat again, but rather than holding it, you're going to stab it, put a staccato, bang. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Here, it does the B flat, C sharp, and B flat back down in your left hand. Like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There, and 4 and, okay? And then you've got a B6 chord for the next part. So you've got a B6, or in some of the music you might find it might say a C flat 6, which is the same thing. But I think thinking about like a B6 is probably easier. So a B6 chord is a B, D sharp, and then a G sharp on top. And then it resolves to the B major. And that's the only other chord change you're doing there. You go in a B flat 6 and then a B major. And it goes through that twice for 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your left hand is just a B, but another staccato or a stab. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And then a B and a C sharp there, using that swung rhythm and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then it goes back round to the other part. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then it goes back round to the B6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then it just continue. But that's the first piano part. And yeah, maybe not quite as challenging, but I still think it sounds good. I'll just play it through once more so you can hear what it sounds like together. That was the intro for I Do Anything for Love by Meatloaf. There is the extended intro, which is a lot longer, but what I've done is I've used the intro to the main YouTube video, or the sort of the main radio edit, which is a bit shorter, which is a good thing really, because it's quite tiring for the wrists and the hands. So let's dive straight in. So the right hand is the same riff based around the D second inversion chord, but with just some susses. And it just goes round and round in circles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the riff in your right hand, and then you can just practice that, and then you can just practice repeating it. So middle C is here, and you're up in this position above here, an octave up. And you're going to put your second and your third on the D and the E, and then your thumb on the A. And it keeps on returning to the A in between every time, every change on top. So I'll play you 1 bar slowly, and then you can just repeat that round in circles. And there it is. So as you can see, it's kind of going like this. But with an A in between all of those. So that might be a way to try and memorise it like this. And then you can add in the A in between. And then you just need to practice doing that around your circles. And if you're counting it, just so you know exactly where you are, just count the top part here. We're not going to count the in-between. We're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... You could count the in-between with the A, but you know, I don't think you need to. So that'll just help you find your position. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So 4 beats per bar. That will come in handy when you're adding in your left hand, which is now. So you're starting off with 2 full bars in your right hand with nothing in your left, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then your left hand comes in with the octaves, if you can, G, F sharp, A, and it does that round twice, G, F sharp, A. Where does that come in? Okay, it comes in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Here, 4 and then it goes round. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. There you go. So that's the first part. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next part, your right hand carries on the same, and then your left hand plays something different. So you're going to play an octave E all the way down here if you can. So middle C's there, all the way down to the E here, octave. And it goes E, E, F sharp, G, G, then G, G, E, E, F sharp, A, A. And the timing wise, it's going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. And then together, that part, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and... Okay, your left hand does as I just showed you, but your right hand just slightly different on that last part. It goes... And then it goes down here to an A, E, A. And it kind of just goes on, and then the singing comes in with Meatloaf. Together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. And now we're doing... And I'm just going to play it once more so you can hear it all together, but nice and slowly. And that was my final choice, November Rain by Guns N' Roses. And with this one, because this video is already quite long, rather than going into any detail, I'm just going to play through it slowly for you once. And then you can figure out yourself, you can pause and you can rewind and all that kind of thing. If any of you want me to go into more detail with this one, I can make a separate video for you, but just let me know in the comments below. Anyway, here it is, played nice and slow. Well, that was my top 5 best rock riffs on the piano, another long one, so I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you managed to learn some of them as well. If you want to see more of what I do, my website is www.birdspianoacademy.com, and on there I've got some online courses, I've got a free ebook you can download on piano chords. There's some really cool piano posters on there that you can buy as well, and there's also a blog with some free lessons. There's loads on there and there will be more coming as well soon. So check that out. And also, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to choose me to learn the piano with. Thanks, and keep on practicing.